only woman I love the way I do. Somewhere between the quiet breath of dawn and the fading glow of the last evening star, my life discovered a name that it would whisper forever. Not loudly, not with prideful noise, but with the steady patience of a river that knows exactly where it belongs. Before you, the days passed like wandering clouds, drifting across an endless sky without purpose or memory. Morning arrived, evening disappeared, and the hours slipped through my hands like grains of pale desert sand. I called it living, yet my soul walked barefoot through silence. Then one moment changed the rhythm of everything. A single glance, soft as moonlight, touching water, turned ordinary time into something sacred. You stood there, unaware that the universe had paused for a heartbeat, just to witness the quiet beginning of a story neither of us planned. You were not thunder or blazing fire. You were gentler than that. You were the warmth of sunlight resting on an open window in winter. You were the calm melody carried through the evening breeze. You were the peaceful certainty that sometimes arrives without explanation. I remember the way your presence reshaped the air around me. The world felt lighter, as though gravity itself had forgotten its duty. Even the city noises softened. When you spoke, cars passed like distant echoes, and the busy streets surrendered to a fragile, glowing quiet. Perhaps love is not born from dramatic storms. Perhaps it begins in the smallest and most unnoticed corners of life. A shared smile, a lingering conversation, a silence that feels complete. With you, silence never meant emptiness. It was a garden of unspoken understanding. Words became unnecessary bridges. When our thoughts already walked together, I learned your laughter, the way sailors learn constellations. Every note guided me through darkness. Every spark of joy illuminated the map of your heart. And what a beautiful map it was. There were valleys of kindness where compassion flowed endlessly. There were mountains of quiet strength that stood unshaken by storms. There were forests of dreams where hope grew tall and fearless. I wandered through those landscapes carefully, afraid that a careless step might disturb something precious. Yet you welcomed me, not with grand declarations or rehearsed promises, but with the simple truth of being yourself. In a world obsessed with masks, your honesty felt like sunlight. After years of fog, you did not try to be perfect. You simply existed with a sincerity that made perfection irrelevant. And somehow, in that gentle authenticity, my heart found its home. I began to notice small miracles. The way your eyes brightened when speaking about things you loved, the thoughtful pauses in your sentences when you searched for the right words, the quiet kindness you offered strangers without hesitation. These moments were not extraordinary to anyone else, but to me they were constellations forming in the sky of ordinary days. I never told you how often your memory walked beside me while crossing crowded streets, while sitting beneath tired streetlights, while watching rain slide down windows. You appeared in my thoughts like a familiar melody, not demanding attention, simply existing in the background of everything. And slowly, without ceremony or warning, my affection grew roots, deep roots, roots that wrapped around my soul like ancient trees gripping the earth. I did not choose this devotion. It arrived quietly and settled within me as naturally as breath. If someone asked me why I loved you, I would struggle to answer, because love, true love, does not live inside explanations. It lives in moments, in the way my day brightens when your name crosses my mind, in the strange calm that fills my chest whenever I imagine your happiness, in the quiet promise I carry without speaking that my care for you will remain steady even if the world rearranges itself. You are not merely someone I admire, you are the woman who changed the rhythm of my existence. Before you, life felt like a long road without landmarks. After you, every mile gained meaning. Even distance cannot weaken what the heart has recognized. The stars remain visible even when clouds gather. The ocean remains deep even when storms disturb its surface. And my affection for you remains constant, even in silence. There are nights when the moon hangs quietly above the city, and I find myself wondering whether it watches over you as well. Perhaps its pale light touches your window, the same way it touches mine. Perhaps somewhere in that silver glow, our thoughts briefly meet, not through words, not through messages, but through the invisible language that hearts sometimes understand. You once told me that the world is full of temporary things. Flowers fade, seasons change, even mountains slowly surrender to time. But I believe some feelings resist disappearance. Some emotions refuse to dissolve. They transform, they grow deeper, they